Hey guys, I'm back with a tag video. Andrew Ballina, my buddy in Australia, tagged me with a collection tag, so thought I'd give you my answers. Alright, first up, how long have you been collecting? For me, I really started collecting in the 70s. I mean, back in the 70s, of course, you had Super 8mm film, and I used to collect these little they were like little 5-minute reels of film called Castle films, and they put out all kinds of really cool Universal horror movies and things like that. I also had full-length, feature-length copies of King Kong and Nosferatu, and I think I had Scars with Dracula too, from Duran Films. I used to collect Super 8 films from Duran Films in England. They used to put out a bunch of Hammer stuff, so I've been collecting a while. Of course, I didn't have the Super 8mm quantity that I've gotten DVD and Blu-rays now, but still I consider I started collecting. I had the collection bug really back in the 70s. How many horror movies do you own? As far as total movies, I use software called DVD Collector, so I've logged everything I own, and it's right under 4,000 total, and 70% of it's horror. So yeah, you do the math. Favorite label to collect? Well, Grindhouse was my favorite. They just don't put out enough, I mean, I understand they're actually trying to make a comeback, so that'll be good if they do. But they were my favorite when they were releasing. I think my favorite's probably Arrow. I mean, I think Arrow's probably puts out the best stuff with the best special features. All their releases, I think, are top notch. I do collect. So, next question: do you collect any merchandise? I do collect some. I've got the Silent Night, Deadly Night doll that came from Scream Factory. I've got a few figures and things. Not a lot. I mean, that's not really my thing. Do I own multiple editions of one movie? I do. In fact, the recent one is the second sight releasing of The Changeling. I got 2 copies. A lot of times I just own it because I screwed up and bought it twice. Some of the ones that I have multiple editions and it was intentional would be Halloween. I think everybody's got multiple copies of that. I've got multiple copies of Hammer films. I mean, I've probably got Horror of Dracula and Dracula Prince of Darkness 2 or 3 times. And now the Dracula Prince of Darkness is coming out from Scream Factory. I'll have another copy of it. So, yeah, there's some that I have multiple copies of. What formats do I collect? Predominantly Blu-ray now, but DVD and Blu-ray is my. What movies or piece of merchandise do you most want in your collection? Good question. I mean, I at this point, I don't know that there's anything that I just desperately want to have. I can't think of anything. Let's see. What's one item in your collection that you haven't seen many people show? Oh, that's the Blood Island trilogy, which is 3 films that Sam Sherman made back in the Philippines back in the 60s. That box set is out of print now, and I've never seen anybody talk about it, but it's probably, no doubt in my mind, that when I think of the best commentary tracks, the best education on independent filmmaking that you could get, that would be that set. That commentary by Sam Sherman is just the best I've ever heard on independent filmmaking, and it's also the most entertaining. It's more entertaining than the movies themselves. So that I highly recommend the Blood Island Trilogy box set. If you could choose a movie that hasn't been released on Blu-ray, what would it be? I guess that would be Fade to Black, the slasher film. I love that movie. I would love to see that get a Arrow treatment or somebody pick it up. How far do you see your collection growing? Or are you happy with where it's at? I mean, it's going to grow because you've got the bug. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's like death and taxes. Once you have once you have that bug, you can't not buy movies when you've got this kind of addiction. Now, I've got space issues, and I think I've shown in other videos, my collection's pretty much dominating all the space upstairs. So I'm going to be very circumspect with what I purchase, but it's going to grow. I mean, the thing about it is, at some point, if you own everything that you want, I mean, particularly horror, a lot of movies that are going to come out, I like them, maybe I want to see them, but do I want to rewatch them? Do I like them that much? I don't know. I can tell that part of it's starting to slow down. There's some things and there's some films and releases that are coming out that I'm like, well, I can live without that. I liked it, but like for example, Mad Max, the new Mad Max movie. I loved the movie, but I don't. Do I really need it in the collection at this point? I decided just to wait until I could pick it up cheap. Those kind of things are starting to happen more and more. But certainly, I can anticipate the collection growing. Will it top 5,000? I mean, I'm at 4,000 now. I mean, eventually it probably will top 5,000. So I'm okay with that. I mean, I'll just figure out. It's the space, it's the space and organizing them that's the only challenge. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tag video. If Cellular or Turi, T-Money86 is watching this, I'm going to tag you guys. So appreciate you watching. Thanks.